guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Paige Corinne, and I am a girl from New Jersey who pretends to be a YouTuber. Wow, this feels great. Like, it's been such a long time since I've actually been in front of the camera. If you guys noticed, I haven't posted the past couple weeks because I've been really sick and in and out of the hospital, so I haven't been able to sit down, record, edit, post, all that stuff. But I'm finally back, so we're going to continue to do new posts every Wednesday, and even the past two videos I had, they were pre-recorded like a week before I posted them, so it's been a while since I've sat in front of the camera, and it feels so good. But anyway, I am going to start doing more polls on Instagram about videos that you want to see, because I feel like the videos that I do, the polls on Instagram, like before posting, if that made any sense what I just said, like English, okay, but I did a poll and you guys said that you wanted to see a video of me talking about how I was a weird child. Because I'm unprofessional, I wrote down a list of things I could think of. I was going to do like 10. Ironically, I was only able to come up with 10. I was such a weird child. I've done so many weird things. Some you might relate to, and some you might be like, she has a mental disorder, but I guess we'll see. So don't forget to like this video first of all, subscribe if you haven't, and after this video, comment down below if you've done any of these. So let me just jump right to it. Okay, so the first thing is I hated school. I think a lot of people can relate to that. But I would get so bored in class. And you know, normal people, when they would get bored in school, they'll talk or pass notes or tap a pencil, draw, whatever. But when I was bored, would pretend to sneeze repeatedly. Like, for attention. Like, I would just be like, I don't even think it sounds realistic. Like, I don't know how to fake sneeze. I'm gonna try. Did that sound real? I don't know. But that's basically what I did. And then, like, people say, like, you know, bless you, and then, like, 10 seconds would go by, and I'd sneeze again, and then, like, another 10 seconds would go by, and I'd sneeze again, and then, like, I'd wait a couple minutes, and then I would sneeze, like, back and forth, like, I had to be, like, 7 times, and I would, like, make my eyes water and everything, and, like, the teacher would excuse me to go to the bathroom. And I had to do that at least once a week. Like, they probably thought I had such a bad allergy, except it wasn't just seasonal. Like, I just did it all the time. So I don't know if, like, that's something that you guys have done before, but I just did it. Okay, so this second one's pretty bad. So as a child, I always thought that in the car, in a seatbelt, at least my car, I don't know if every car has gray seatbelts, but, like, the dark gray seatbelt kind of looks like duct tape. Yes. So I would be bored in the car. I'm always bored when I'm doing something wrong. And I would take the seatbelt, like, from over my shoulder, and I would, like, tuck the end of it, like, underneath my hair here, so it looks like it's starting here, and I'd put it across my mouth like this, and then fold it under my armpit and hold like this, so it looks like there was duct tape around my mouth, and then I'd look out the car window, and I would be like, like, pretending like I was kidnapped. Like, I would, like, look at people and with a worried look on my face, and like put my hand on the window, like, help me, like, type of thing. Oh my god, I could have gotten in so much. I don't know if anyone believed it. I guess not, because, like, we never got pulled over or anything, thank God, because that would have been a mess. But, like, what if I was getting kidnapped? No, that would have been pretty bad. But yeah, so that's something else I've done. I don't know if you guys have done that or thought about doing it, but I don't suggest. Okay, so the third thing is, one night my mom went out, and it was just me and my dad at home, and I was really bored. I was bored! So I was bored, and I was kind of messing around on the couch, and behind our couch we had this glass table, and I decided that I was going to do, like, parkour or some shit, and go over my couch and sit onto my glass table. My fat ass broke this table. I was like 6 years old. I had to be either 5 or 6 years old, and the whole thing just completely fell apart, and my dad was in the kitchen. He just looks over at me. I was like, I'm sorry, and he just told me to, like, go into their room, because they had a TV into their room, and I was obsessed with Peter Pan. Like, I would just watch Peter Pan. He's like, just go watch Peter Pan while I clean this up. So I go to my parents' room, and I start watching Peter Pan, and the movie was over, and I was bored, so I decided to pick up the phone, dial 911, and sing to them. about 20 minutes later, I noticed a cop car parked out front of my house. And I didn't think anything of it. And then like 10 minutes go by. And it's still sitting there, and I started getting anxious. So I walked down to the living room. I was like, Dad, I think there's someone here. And lo and behold, he's standing at the front door talking to the cop behind the screen. And the cop just peeks and he's like, hey, like, everything okay? I was like, yeah, blah, blah. Like, it was so awkward. And then I just like went back into the room to watch a movie. And I like just restarted the movie. My dad, it was so awkward. After the cop left, my dad came into the room. He came and he looked at me just like that for a good like minute and a half. And I'm like picking this piece of paper up with my feet. I think I just got a paper cut on my toe. Anyway, so yeah, he just looks at me for like a good minute and a half and then turns off the TV, looks at me for another like 15 seconds, and then walks out of the room. Like, doesn't say anything. And I remember like I was trying not to cry, but I was just sitting there like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I didn't even want to move the positioning of my body, so I just sat there. And after like 5 minutes maybe, I decided to slowly get up, walk over the TV, turn it back on, and proceed to watch the movie. So that was another thing. I'm a really bad child. Like, my parents, Mom, I apologize. Like, I'm so sorry. The next thing, number 4, is I used to go, I still do, go to my grandparents a lot, my grandma, on my dad's side, and they're the type of grandparents that always play games with me, like, always take me out places, go shopping, do this and that. And one of the times that I was there, they were kind of just doing, like, work stuff, like, from home, so I was kind of just sitting there bored. I'm not doing it on purpose. I can't make this shit up. I was sitting there bored, and I decided that I was going to pretend that I had multiple siblings, like twins, but like a lot of them, so like quadrucept. I don't know, I pretend I had like 9 different personalities, so whatever 9 is. So I would knock on like the table or something, and we would all be in the living room. I would knock on the table, and I'd be like, oh, I think someone's here, like, I'll go get it. And then I would go over to the door, I'd put my hair up in a ponytail, I'd open the door and close it, and come back and be like, hey guys, it's like Kelsey, blah blah blah, like Paige's like twin sister. She just had to run out really quick, so I'm just gonna like stay here for a little bit. And you know, they played along with it, but the thing is, in my head, like, I actually remember thinking this way. In my head, I actually thought they believed me. And that amazes me, like, how I remember actually thinking that way. But yeah, so then like another couple of minutes go by, and knock on the table again, like underneath, I'll settle. And I'd be like, oh, I guess she's back, I'll go get her. Then I'd go and I'd put my hair down, but it had like a sweatshirt on, so I took the sweatshirt off. And I'd walk back in and be like, hey guys, it's Maggie, like, Paige and Kelsey went to go, Kelsey went to like go find Paige and like blah blah blah, and basically would just come up with some excuse each time. And each time I knocked on like the table and went to go like see who's at the door, I'd come back as somebody else. And I did this like 9 times. Then obviously, oh, one of the names was Katie, I remember that. But so yeah, I had to do that like at least 9 times, and then finally I just came back as myself, and I was like, oh yeah, but they had to go home, they had a lot of stuff to do. I can't believe you never met them before, blah blah blah, as if they wouldn't know, like, they were at the hospital when I was born, whatever. So, I'm weird. Okay, so this next one, I don't actually remember. I only know this story because I was told it. Oh my god. So I had an imaginary friend. I forget his name. Hold on, we're gonna go find out what my imaginary friend's name is from the source itself. Hey, Mom. Mom, what was my imaginary friend's name when I was a kid?
Fred.
Fred. Fred! My imaginary friend's name was Fred. Sorry it took me so long, even though it was only like 2 seconds for you because I'm editing this. It was like 2 minutes for me. I just want to like re-go over, it's a really short story, just like re-go over the facts with my mom to make sure like I'm not feeding you false information. But so when I was like 3 years old and it was the apartments we lived in when I was like first born, I was just coloring and stuff, and I had this imaginary friend Fred that I would always talk to and hang out with. And you know, imaginary friends are in your head. Imaginary friends can't teach you new things because they're in your head, so they only know what you already know, if that makes any sense. So I was coloring one day and my mom came into the room and she looks over at what I have and she sees that I wrote the word Fred, and I didn't know how to spell yet. I was really young and I didn't know how to like form those things together like he would have had to tell me. So and I had like a picture. My mom's like who is that? And I was like, my friend. So that was really strange. I don't remember this, by the way. I think I already said that, but that's just what she told me happened. I don't think she would lie to me about something like that. My parents actually believed at one point that like I was possessed. So, but that's a whole nother story. Number 6 is really just me being like odd and awkward in like middle school. So you guys might know the show The Big Bang Theory. I don't watch that show, my grandparents do, but that's how I know about the shows, because my grandparents. And I guess Sheldon on this show like always says Bazinga or something. So so I just picked up on it and I would like say it all the time. So my mom for I think Christmas got me like this shirt, this bright red shirt. It's so ugly. I'm pretty sure it was a guy's shirt. And there was this big picture of Sheldon's head on the shirt and it said Bazinga underneath it. And for whatever reason, I thought that was going to be the fashion highlight of the year. So I wore that shirt to school probably like once a week for about a month. Maybe twice a week for about a month. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. But I remember during class, in between classes, I would go in the hallway and I'd go up to random people. And I would just pull the shirt out and be like, Bazinga! And I would just do that. Like, for what? I just did it. I was just really weird. And I thought I was cool. I'm sure people looked at me like I was insane. That's probably why I have no friends. So number 7 is something that I used to do with my friends as a kid. I was probably like 5 or 6 also at this time. The same time that I called the cops. But I would go like, it was like the house diagonal for me at the time. I would go to their house and we would go up to my friend's room and we would lock the door and we'd blast music so if we were making any noise it wouldn't like be suspicious. We would open up his window and his window had no protection screen. It was just like the opening glass part. So what am I doing with my hands? I'm like, I wish I knew how to edit so I could like push a fireball. That would be funny. Anyway, so we would take these ShopRite bags from his pantry and we would go onto the roof and we would jump off the roof with the ShopRite bags and pretend that the ShopRite bag was a parachute. So we'd like hold it over our head and jump, and we would do this repeatedly. And the way the living room, his dad was always in the living room, but the way the seat, he had a special chair, you couldn't see the front door. So we would sneak up the stairs, like he wouldn't even know that we were like up and out, like he wouldn't even know. So we just did this repeatedly and I would go home with bruises, with cuts and everything, and I would just act like I didn't know what happened. Ooh, this one isn't on the list, but I did once cut my hair. I don't know what made me think of this. I cut my own hair and I tried to hide the evidence, but like I cut a lot. There was probably like this much cut off and I wanted to hide it, so instead of throwing it out, I stuck it underneath the washer machine, you know, as if my mom never cleans the house, right? And like a day later, she's sweeping, she asked me what this is. I was like, dust, like dirt, I don't know, it's like just like scraps around the house. I don't know that makes me weird. I'm sure everybody cut their own hair at one point. I cut my own hair now, but I don't know what made me think of that. I just wanted to share. Number 8. So when The Sims came out, I was really obsessed. I got The Sims game and I played on my computer, and honestly, I can't even say this is a thing from when I was younger. Like, this has to be pretty recent, at least like within the last year. Ever since I got The Sims game to recently, when I would play, basically each time I would play, I would just make a new world. I'd spend hours on creating characters and families, and like the only thing I really did in the game was like interact the two of them and like build a house, like, because I knew all the cheats to get a lot of money. So I would do that. But the thing is, the new world, me creating the characters, I would always make the characters my crush and like make that like my boyfriend. So, and like when I was younger, my crushes only lasted about like 2 weeks. So like I had a new one like every 2 weeks, and I would just like create a new world and I would just make it with that person until I got over it, and then I'd make a new one, so on and so forth. I know a lot of people have actually done that though, so it is weird, but it's like normal for like girls who are boy obsessed, I guess. So that was just another thing that I did. Number 9. This one might not make sense unless you know or have seen the movie The Truman Show. Basically, if you haven't seen it, it's just a movie about this guy. I don't even know how to explain it. He lives in a world that's controlled. He is basically, it's on live, his whole life is live television, and it's controlled by directors. Everyone in his world is an actor. They have outside lives. Everyone is an actor, but he doesn't know. He's the only one who doesn't know that everything around him is fake. And after watching this movie, it's so clever, and the way that they set everything up and just the way they made the movie, they created like this thing, really had my mind thinking a certain way. And I actually went through a phase where I was wondering if my life was like that, like if everyone around me was an actor. And because anytime he would try to do something that he thought of in his own mind, like, oh, I want to take a flight to Fiji, like anything crazy like that that they wouldn't be able to provide in the world that they created, they would come up with an excuse so that he wouldn't be able to do, whether there was bad weather so that plane flights were canceled, or like a forest fire so that road crossing that bridge to get to this place wasn't open, things like that. And I've had so many things in my life where I try to do something that I just spontaneously was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and something always blocks it from happening. So I did go through a phase where I thought, you know what, maybe my life is like this, and I would pay really close attention when I was out in public. I'd look to see if people were like staring at me, or if like there's this one specific scene in the Truman Show where the Truman's best friend he works at like the shop, and he's like restocking the fridge, and Truman wasn't supposed to go into the store, but he started to be suspicious, so he wanted to talk to his friend. So his friend's sitting there and doesn't really know what to do because he doesn't really have a job there. He's kind of just chilling there. So he's like restocking the fridge, and then he would run out of like stuff to put in it, so he would take some out when Truman wasn't looking and then start restocking them again. So I would like look in stores to see if like things like that were happening. And like, who thinks that way if you don't have a mental disorder? Like, let's just be honest. But I just thought it was so clever and so smart, and it would honestly be cool if my life was like that. But talk about the world revolves around me, right? Okay, anyway, the last thing I have, number 10, is that I'm sure a lot of people have done this too, because I've seen posts on it and I was like, oh, save, because I was the same way. Before my dog passed away, I like grew up with him. Like, he was awesome. And I remember when I'd be home alone with him, I would sit down with him and I'd be like, look, Scrappy, it's me. Like, you grew up with me. It's fine. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to be freaked out. I support you. Just tell me, can you talk? And I'd sit there and look him dead in the face, and his eyes are connecting with mine, and at moments I would think, oh my god, he wants to say something, he just can't. Like, he wants to tell me, but he's not allowed to. As if it's like Cosmo and Wanda, like, if he tells anybody, then they'll get taken away. Like, if Scrappy tells me that he's gonna be taken away or something. So I'd be like, look, I'm not gonna tell anybody, just give me a sign. And I would do this all the time, and nothing obviously ever happened, but it's just like, I have the real hope of magic inside me. Like, I really do believe in the impossible, and my hope is what keeps me young. So don't at me. That's what I did, and I did it for a very long time. I probably did it until he passed away, which was only like a year ago. So, like, not even. So, I'm weird, as I said. Most of the weird things I did happened when I was bored, so I guess if there's a moral to this story, keep yourselves occupied so you don't do something stupid. But that's it, and I can't wait to see you guys next Wednesday. I don't want to stop recording because I missed it so much, but I'm gonna go. I love you guys, and I will try to make sure that this video stays under 25 minutes because I need to stop making them so long. Anyways, again, love you. Goodbye.